Sky cleared up quick, boy. No. Cleared up real quick. Happy Sunday, everybody. Oh, I don't want to. Gotta make sure. You know what? Put this over here. Good time here, actually. So, there we go. So don't forget about it. All right. Welcome to the live, everybody. Tap the like button. We're going to be live for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? If you know what I'm saying. Oh, you can feel that sunshine. You can feel that sunshine. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I can feel the sunshine. The wind is what gets you, man. For sure. The wind is what gets you for sure. Welcome everybody to the live stream. Happy Sunday, everybody. We're going to give it a few moments. You know, I'm just enjoying the sunshine. While it's cold, I don't know what it is. Temperatures right now, it's pretty cold, to say the least. About 39, but with the wind chill, it's probably like, I don't know, but the sun feels amazing. As I'm soaking it in, we'll just let you guys join and tap the like button. Happy Sunday, as we all get the opportunity to give thanks, man, for another day, to be here in physical form for another day, man. Another day to enjoy the sunshine. Yesterday was a fun live stream too, by the way. Had a good time yesterday. We deep dived a lot of cool topics. Touched on a lot of good topics. And it was fun. It was cool. I love going down those rabbit holes. I love having those types of conversations with you all, man. You know, opening our minds, opening our awareness, just questioning everything, man. That's the biggest thing I think is so vital right now, that especially with everything that's being funneled to us, all the, you know, social media and all the distractions and all this and that, and this person telling you this, and people listen to the mainstream news, and it's like there's so many distractions, man, that are keeping you from going within and connecting straight to God. See, the thing of it is, man, we've always been connected. We've just become so far disconnected. Our connection has always been there, just through all these different things that we've been told through religion and politics and round earth and flat earth, and all these different things separate us from God, disconnect us. And that's what it's intended to do. And you're not actually disconnecting, it's metaphorically. It's you're still connected, you're still always connected, you just lost your way, through the distractions of food and addictions, and I can go on and on, all the things that take us away from our connection to God. Always seeking and searching for things outside of us to fill the void, to, we think we're going to feel that love from that pair of shoes, or that, new phone, or whatever the case may be, through the food, through the addictions, through the, other people. It's always seeking and seeking and seeking, when in fact we always had it within us from the start, always. But they just found a way to, in fact, bring us as far away from God as we can possibly be, through, the lies and the manipulation and the distractions, and, telling you have to go outside of you, and then, in fact, getting you to actually not breathe, which is essentially the breath is the quickest and fastest way to God. So it's really wild, man. It's really interesting and wild what they've done and how they've done it and why they've done it. I understand it. Am I cool with it? Hell no. Do I think that it's got to be stopped? Hell yes. Do I think we need to teach more people these different ways that they can find that connection, find their way back? Yes. So it's just like, I think, and I know that many and most are lost, and we're each assisting each other in walking each other home to find that connection to God, to source, to prime creator, knowing that we always had it within us, always. We just lost our way, so to speak. Oh, you got to go to this temple, or you have to go to this church, or you have to do this, or you have to do it this way. And when in fact, it's always been there. It's always been within each and every one of us. But, again, we lost our way through so many damn distractions, numbing out, addictions, the 7 deadly sins, that are talked about, temptations. The list goes on, man. All of these things separate us from God, knowing God deeply, and then, typically what is one usually say when you ask them, hey, did you have an opportunity to like sit with God to cultivate a relationship, like take some time out? Like, no, I don't have time. No, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to hang out with this person. I got to go to work. I got to do. It's like, okay, well, I'm sure that you have 24 hours in a day, just like I do, just like every single one of us does. And I'm sure that there's a moment where you could like maybe turn the radio off or the music off and just sit in stillness and maybe while you're driving to work, you know. And listen, man, God does not judge any one of us. But the fact of the matter is, you still have to take time and develop a relationship. You think God is just going to hand you everything when you can't even find time in your day to develop and cultivate some sort of relationship? And then you expect for things to change, for things to be different, when we've got so many damn excuses. An excuse for this, an excuse for that, an excuse not to go inward, scrolling on social media, doom scrolling. Like the list goes on, and listen, man, it's not anyone's fault, because a lot of us were born into a lot of these different things, but our soul chose to be born into these things at these times, knowing that dependent on the time that you choose to come in in human form, that's what you're going to experience, whether it was like the 1500s or, the early 2000s, you chose to come in at a certain time. Well, your soul did, to experience a certain thing, knowing that at that time of incarnation, that's the way the world was or is. And then coming in and finding ways to overcome it, finding ways to reconnect back to God, regardless of all the distractions, all the numbing, all the addictions, all the temptations, all the different things that, kind of hold us back and hinder us from creating and cultivating a relationship with God. And all these things just separate us further, distract us even more, prevent us from having that deep connection, that deep relationship with God. And again, just so everybody knows, pulling up, it doesn't sound like this is a religious channel. I know a bunch of you probably came on here thinking this is some sort of religious channel, and it's not. I don't believe in religion. I am spiritual. Luna is spiritual. But we do talk about God. We do talk about, cultivating and creating a relationship with God. It doesn't mean that you have to be religious to do that. It doesn't mean you have to be some sort of religion, a part of some sort of religion to, develop a relationship with God, man, with the Creator. It doesn't mean that. And I'm far from that. That's not something that I do. But man, when you call the light of God in and you allow God to breathe through you, oh my God, the miracles that happen, the healing that occurs, the addictions that you let go of, the distractions that are you're freed from. Because man, if you allow God's light to just move through you, the waters of God, the light of God to move through you, you don't need anybody in a white coat. You don't need anybody outside of you, man. And that's the one thing that I feel very strongly that humanity is beginning to realize, that there is no sickness, there is no suffering, there is no disease when you allow the light of God to move through you. Miracles happen, which I wouldn't even call them miracles, to be quite honest. It just is. It's beautiful and powerful, and the light of God can heal anything. But again, we've lost ourselves. We've lost ourselves. Again, you don't have to be religious. What's up, man? What's going on? What's good? Happy Sunday. It's like at the end of the day, man, God is within us all. God is within everything. And if we trust and have faith, man, and we don't question and we don't doubt, and I'm not saying to not question anything. That's not what I'm saying. But when we question what is happening, when we break out of the spell that most of us have been in majority of our life, and we put our faith and trust in God and the Creator, then we're coming back to God. Then we're reconnecting. Now, mind you, we've never disconnected. I don't believe we've ever disconnected. We've just lost our way. And now humanity is beginning to find their way back. And we're all walking each other home. And you just see it. You see it all over the place. You see people waking up and questioning everything. And what I mean by questioning everything is there's got to be more to life than you've been told type of questions. Not questioning God, why God did this, why God did that. That just disconnects you farther. That brings you farther away. And of course, we're going to do that with all the things happening. But all the things happening are for a reason, for a purpose, for you to find God again, for you to find your way back, to have trust and faith that everything is unfolding perfectly. That it's always taking you to the next level, the next phase. And that, man, this planet is transforming before our eyes at a rapid, accelerated rate. And there are so many things to be grateful and thankful for, to be positive about, regardless of, yes, there's a lot of things happening. Yes, there's a mixture of everything. And yet, when we can just stand back and observe and trust that it's unfolding perfectly, because it is, because it certainly is. But majority of humanity was taught to just lose their trust and faith in God and the Creator. Well, to say, well, there is no Creator, there is no God, blah, 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 all these different things, which inevitably take you even farther away. But we'll put our trust in a guy with a white coat. We'll put our trust in, something we read on the internet. But most and majority have a difficult time putting their trust in the Creator. And it's very, very, very controversial to talk about we are God. We are, each and every one of us are God. It is very controversial. I've seen it all over. But when you explain it in different ways, like, oh, we came from God, we will go back to God. So what does that make you? That makes you an aspect of God, a part of God. You're not the whole of God, but you're a part of God. You're an aspect of it. That makes you just as powerful. If you remember truly who you are, that you're not any of these things that you're experiencing, that you're not any of the world around us. You're here just observing it, experiencing it. Like that saying, you're in the world, but not of the world. Or you're not of the world, but you're in the world. Sounds better. You're in the world, but not of the world. So that sounds more like it. But quote me if I'm wrong, because I could be possibly saying it wrong. No one's saying that these times are not challenging, these times are not tough. But when you find that connection back to God, things change, man. You notice a difference. You feel different. You experience different things. You become more confident, more in your power, more grounded and centered. You begin to trust what's happening. You begin to trust what's unfolding. You trust the process, that you're being led and guided every single step of the way. It's different, man. It hits different. It feels different. It is different. Like I said, in no way, shape, or form am I religious, or is Luna by any stretch of the imagination, by any means. Never was fully. Did I lose my way? Yeah, many times. Was I lost? Yeah, many times. Was I always led back? Yeah, all the time. Are we all being always led back? Yeah. Are we all guided and led every step of the way? Are we protected? Oh, 100,000%. No matter what you're going through, because at the end of the day, we're always going through things, and we're being put through things that our higher self, God, our galactic teams, our angels and guides, they all know that we can handle it. They all know it. You wouldn't be put through things that you were in fact not able to handle. And man, your ancestors, your guides, your bloodline, man, they all knew you could do it. And that's why I always say we're chosen ones. We're all chosen ones, man, because they knew you could do it. And they knew you were going to. And they knew that when they left, they were going to pass you the torch. And you were next. Oh, they knew it. They for sure knew it. So it's like the energies are shifting. We're getting closer to the end of the year of 2025, and 2025 has been one hell of a year. Man, one hell of a year. And let me tell you guys what, man. Wait till you see the content that me and Luna are going to be putting out come 2026, man. There's things that we have not talked about that you are not yet aware of, that we will be in fact talking about and posting content about. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for what's unfolding. I'm excited for all the downloads I continue to get that we're going to be hosting and being a part of in 2026 to assist humanity in remembering who they are, why they're here, and what they came here to do. This is, in fact, the Great Awakening. And people are waking up to finally question that there's more to life than you've been told. And it's about damn time. It's about damn time. I've had so many. I wish that I could like take all the things that I've like at the different points in my life, at the different times in my life, I had so many different downloads and information that I was always receiving that explain different things about the experience here as in physical form, and not fully the experience in physical form. And no, never gone to church, my friend. An OG 2E. No, never, ever gone to church. And I don't plan to. I don't feel that there's a need to. I strongly believe that church, temple, all these different places that, I mean, I'm not going to say there's not places that they speak the truth and they truly come from the heart, but majority of them, there's an intention behind it. There's an intention behind it. It's not for good, and to make people think that they have to go to church or temple or these different places to connect and develop a relationship with God, to me is crazy, because I sit here with you all on this live every single time, and I can connect with God anytime I want. You're from Sweden, but I live in Japan. Oh, cool. I want to visit Japan, man, one day. That is such a beautiful country. I definitely plan to visit Sweden too, man. God is, I mean, there is no good and bad. Let me just say this, OG, let me say this. God, there is no good and bad. It's because it's like it boils down to, like, two people could be watching the same confrontation between the same two people and yet walk away with a different perception or perspective of what they thought that was. Oh, I don't think it was bad. It wasn't really an argument. It was more so two people having a discussion that they don't agree on. But then somebody else would observe it as a fight or something bad. So, some people don't believe sugar is bad. Others do. So it's like, what is really good or bad? It's really your perspective and your perception and the stories you attach to it. Oh, I do understand. I totally understand, my good friend. It's a different it's everybody's perception and perspective and the stories they attach to it, because at the end of the day, everything is a story and a belief. And if you don't have the same beliefs as somebody else, then you aren't going to see it in the same way. And that's real. That's a fact. Exactly. The same exact thing. What is the truth? Truth is what resonates with you. Uh, I couldn't really answer. I think humans did. I think species did. Um, because at the end of the day, I don't think anybody knows the full truth. Because you know why? Because everybody down here has ego attached and some sort of story that is attached to it. So I don't think anyone will ever have the all the answers, even when you even leave the body. Even when you have people that have NDs and OBs and they leave the body and they come back, there's still ego involved. So again, it goes back to stories that we attach to, because everything is a belief, everything is a story. And it's based off of your perspective and your perception of what you experienced in your life from your journey, right? So then, like, I just went back to this story of two people having a discussion. Well, some in the group that are observing it may observe it as an argument, a fight, and then others may say, well, oh, that's a healthy discussion. I don't see anything wrong with that. So the one thing I do know that is truth, at least from my own opinion and perspective, is that we are all connected to source and God, and that at one point or another we were disconnected intentionally to create fear and control, to enslave humanity, to separate us from God, the creator. Because imagine every single person, if they were in their power, connected to God. Like, we all are connected, we're always connected. But the fact of the matter is through, yeah, see, I don't understand your question, man. I think you're trying to like trick me in some way, shape, or form, and I feel very strongly that you're trolling. Because why don't you answer what's truth? Why don't we go from there? What's truth to you? Because truth is dependent on the person's experience and journey. Okay, and I just said God too, didn't I? So how was that free will? Because I said the same thing you did. Um, so it's kind of funny that you're trolling. That's what you're doing. Because I said the exact same thing you did. God, the creator. But that's your truth, because not everybody believes in that. Yeah. Well, this planet in particular, yes, we have free will. That's what makes planet Earth so special. Free will. Yet, a lot of us came into this, which our soul knew what we were doing before we came into the human form. Hey, Tyson, what's good, brother? Welcome to the live, man. So, I mean, truth for one is not truth for another, because there's a lot of people that don't believe in God, that don't believe, that they believe in the Big Bang Theory, they believe in science. No, I'm not asking any questions. I'm speaking from my own experience. I don't know where I asked questions. I didn't ask any questions. I said, people are starting to wake up and asking, there's got to be more to life than I've been told. No, I haven't asked one question. There hasn't really been anybody on here asking anything for the past 10 to 15 minutes. Um, what's up? Have a Merry Christmas to your family. Hey, Heather, what's good? How you doing? Welcome to the live. Tap the like button. Family, my dad and my grandparents passed away this Christmas. will be hard for me this Christmas. I'm sorry, man. I know what you mean, man. My dad passed away in 2022, so I feel you. And I lost all my grandparents on both sides. So I feel you. And I wish you nothing more than happiness and joy and send you so much love. God bless you too, OG. God bless you too, man. Thank you for stopping by. Tap the like button and subscribe to the channel if you feel called, man. Listen, I'm not judging you for your beliefs, brother. All right? I'm not judging you. There's no judgment here. I love having these discussions, man. And I can learn something from you, OG, and you can learn something from me. So thank you. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, definitely may your grandfather and your parents rest in peace, man. I know they're up there and they're happy where they are. So, you know, just call them in anytime you want, man. They're always here. They're always with you. Just because they're not here in physical form, man, they're still here. Energy never dies. So they're here. You can call on them. You just got to be open and receptive to receive the messages. But they're here, and they will always be here with you, and they're guiding you and leading you every step of the way, man. Because that's what they chose to do. They chose to leave before you so they can hand you the torch, Heather, for you to lead the way. And you're welcome, OG. You're welcome, man. Anytime. This place is a safe place for us all to come and share our beliefs, our opinions, our journey, our experiences, you know? And there's no judgment. And like I said, I can learn from you, you can learn from me, you know? And it's not who's right and who's wrong, man. It's like we're all trying to figure shit out and understand it and make sense of it all, you know? Well, thank you, Tyson. I appreciate that, man. I try to be, you know. It's taken me a long way. A lot of being humble, to say the least. A lot of being brought to my knees to get to the point of where I'm at. Trust and believe. And I just have so much love for the human race, for this planet, for God, for the creator, for everything, man. My heart is so open, and I'm just so ready. I'm ready for us all to come together as one and realize we are all one and connected, and to come together and help one another and support each other and love one another, man. And stop like this whole separation and divide thing and like, oh my God, I got to be careful. I got to watch out for you. Like you're going to try to do something to me and blah, 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 and all these things, man. Like knowing that we're all safe and we're all being led and guided every step of the way, man. And that we're all protected in one way, shape, or form. You've been wondering, yeah, a lot of people are wondering what their purpose is, man. And I have the easiest, quickest way for you to get a clear, actually a couple things. Okay? But you got to listen. You got to really listen to what I'm saying. And if you don't hear it right now, go back and watch the replay. All right, Tyson? You've got to take, if you're not already doing this, you have to take time out in your day, whether it be 5 minutes, 2 minutes, the longer the better. Even if you have to go in your car and sit in your car and put noise cancellation headphones on, sit in stillness and listen. Okay? And start being in tune with your body and like what it feels like when you go hang out with these people or when you do this thing. Like, they just gave me like fishing. Like, I'm not saying you fish. I'm just giving examples, okay? Like, oh, I hang out with these people and I feel this way in my body. Oh, I go fishing and I feel this way. Oh, I go and I go to this job and then I feel this way, and start feeling the sensations and feelings in your body as to how it feels to do those different things, right? And what do you think that's going to do? The more you continue to try these different things out, and then you feel, because listen, majority of us have been suppressed from feeling, okay? We've literally been suppressed from feeling. And it's going to take you a minute to start feeling what it feels like in your body to do different things, to work at this job, to hang out with these family members, to go fishing, to play video games, whatever the case may be, man. You'll feel like, I feel uncomfortable when I do this. I feel angry when I do this. I feel sad when I do this. But this really lights me up. Right? That's how you begin to start to find your purpose. That's one way. Okay, the second way is stillness, sitting in silence and just listening. Okay? Because God is speaking to you, but you got to make an effort. You got to cultivate a relationship with God. You have to spend time every single day and have a practice, right? Well, then keep riding your bike, man. Who knows where it leads you? You don't know why God has you do certain things, right? Okay, well, keep sitting in stillness and listening. There's a reason that you do. But maybe the part that you don't have down is the part that everything is numbed and you can't tell what you like doing and what you don't. But you just said you like bicycling, so keep bicycling. You never know who you meet that leads you to your purpose. Maybe there's something in the whole bicycle thing that you're going to have a purpose within that. Maybe you're going to lead an army of people through cycling. Who knows what God's got planned for you? And you're not going to get all the answers. You're not going to get a full roadmap of like, this is your exact purpose. I don't even have one. All I know is I'm led every day to go live and talk to you all. I don't know where the hell it's leading me. I know that I want to build this newer school with Luna. I don't know what that's going to look like or how it's going to happen, but we've been doing what we've been doing because we've been led to do certain things. Well, yeah, there's probably a reason behind it, man. You just got to trust, and you got to speak to God and ask God why. But I wouldn't use the word why, because that's the one thing you want to avoid using why, and because then you're questioning God's reasons. But you can ask different things around it, but avoid asking why, because then you're questioning the Creator. Then you're questioning why you're being led and guided, not to question why is this happening in the world. No one's saying not to do those things. Why is they poisoning food? Why are they doing this? You know what I mean? But like when it comes down to why have I been separated and not seen my son for 5 years, use a different word than why. Can you show me the reasons for me not seeing my son in 5 years? That's better. That's a better way. Wording is very, very important. Yeah. And God will. You just got to have faith. And who knows why you got to do certain things. That's the one thing that people do, man. They're like, why am I doing this? Why do I have to go do this thing that makes absolutely no sense? It doesn't even make sense as to how this is going to lead me to what I want to do. And they're not obedient to it. They don't listen. They don't go do the thing that is the most craziest, wildest thing that has no apparent way, shape, or form that it's going to lead you to your purpose, but yet it does somehow, some way. No, it's not your fault, man, Tyson. It's not your fault, brother. Don't take that on like that, man. It's not your fault, dude. There's reasons for everything, man. And you could be being blocked just as he is for a purpose and a reason, because maybe that was going to hinder your purpose, and that at some point you're going to come back together. You don't know, but don't take it on as it's your fault, man. That's just going to lower your frequency and your vibration, and it's going to separate you farther away from God, and it's going to show God that you don't trust God and you don't have faith when you blame yourself. There's a reason, man. If you were meant to be together right now, you would be. You would be, man. There's no mistakes, bro. God don't make no mistakes. Okay? If you were supposed to be with him right now, he would be there and you would be with him. Just as my dad, I go back to my dad, and let me just don't go anywhere, Tyson, because I'm going to tell you, if you haven't heard this story, I'm not going to go into the whole depth of it because I've said it many times on this channel, but I'm going to say one aspect to it. Okay. My dad had 4-stage Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer. Okay. And was given a week to live in 1997. Okay. No, man, you couldn't have done nothing different. Okay. I did the same thing in 2022 when my dad passed, because what if I didn't walk out of the room and he didn't fall, right? Because I was doing Reiki on him in the bedroom. I walked out for 2 seconds and he fell and hit his head on the counter, and then was going into convulsions on the ground and then bleeding. And then the ambulance came, and then the ambulance picked him up and gave him God knows how many doses of fentanyl to the point where he stopped breathing. Okay. What if I would have not walked out of the room? Okay. I could say the same exact thing. What if I didn't walk out of the room? You don't think I've gone there with myself? You don't think I've questioned why I walked out for 2 seconds and then heard this big bang and he fell and hit the counter? Of course I have. Of course I did. But I know there's no mistakes, because I talk to him all the time from the other side. Not to mention, if he wasn't supposed to be here in 1997, living 25 years later, cancer-free, he would have gone in 97. Okay? The doctor yelled and cursed at him. He chose to walk out of the doctor's office, and the doctor said, if you effing leave this office, you're going to die. And he said, Doc, I'm already dying. The nurses whispered and said, you're doing the right thing by leaving. He left and went on to heal himself alternatively, with faith, with trust in God, knowing that he had a purpose to be here till 2022, all the way from 1997, right? But he could have died in 97. So why didn't he die in 90? Why did he die in 2022 but not 97? Why did it take him longer to transition in 2022 than it did in 97? And 97, he walked out of the office. He didn't listen to the doctor. He listened to God. He listened to faith. He trusted what he was doing was right. And what did it do? He lived on to help thousands of people. Thousands. He spoke in front of big audiences, talking about his story, how he healed alternatively from 4th-stage Hodgkin's lymphoma, where the doctor said he had a week to live. Yes. He knew it. Right? But 2022, it was his time. There was no mistake. Right? I could beat myself up all day long. Why'd you walk out of that room? If you would have stayed in that room, maybe he wouldn't have fell. Maybe the ambulance wouldn't have came. Maybe he wouldn't have then went into the hospital and they pumped him with fentanyl. Right? Maybe he could have healed through QHHT, past life regression. Maybe he could have healed through the EE system, which I was taking him to. right? I could question it all day long and put myself even through more suffering and disconnect myself farther from God, not trusting that God had a plan, that that's what was supposed to happen. Maybe you being separated from your son for the past 5 years was meant to happen so your son could grow and you could grow. And then when you both come back together, your hearts are wide opened and you will have a completely different relationship. Maybe that's what's supposed to happen. But by you doubting yourself, doubting all of it, you're doubting God, you're doubting the Creator, you're not showing God you have faith. You're not showing God you trust. That's the problem that society has fallen into. Immediately something happens, and then we blame ourselves, and then we judge ourselves, and then we go into victimhood, and then we start blaming God and the Creator, and then we turn away, then we turn our backs on God. And God has all the answers. God is within us all, but then what are you then inevitably doing? You're turning your back on yourself. You're then not trusting yourself because God is within us all. God is in everything. So then you're inevitably turning your back on yourself, man. Well, you know what? But there's a reason for it. And we don't know sometimes why we have to do certain things, why we have to go and listen, man. I'm going to tell you another thing that I had to do. I hit rock bottom in 2017 and 2020. Okay. If I stayed in my family dynamic in 2020, I probably wouldn't be here right now teaching you what I'm teaching you from my experiences. Okay. And I had to literally walk away from everybody. And that was 2020 was 2 years before my dad passed away. And even to this day, I don't know why, but I had a falling out with my brother-in-law who is married to my sister. And he met my sister in 2014. And we hit it off, but we had a lot of rocky moments. I mean, it got to the point where in like 2019, 2020, it got to the point where when I hit rock bottom the first time in 2017, it lasted till 2019. And yes, we were somewhat close at that time because I was so vulnerable and raw in what I was going through with my health and everything else. Well, then 2020 hit and they moved down to where I was living. And we started to build a house together. And we got to the point where we were at each other's throats, screaming and yelling and fighting at the top of our lungs, to the point where I had to walk away because I hit rock bottom again in 2020. So I quite literally, I was diagnosed with Lyme and mold. I can go on and on. I was having dark night of the souls. I was going through a lot of ego death. I was going through just a lot. Having to shed addictions. I went on NoFap and semen retention because for majority of my life, I had a lot of different addictions, to cigarettes, to pornography, to drugs, to alcohol, to everything. I never want to say I was actually addicted. But I want to say that I could stop if I really wanted to. But the fact of the matter is in 2020 I hit rock bottom and I was just a loose cannon. I was exploding at every turn. We were having these massive big explosions. My nervous system was becoming I was basically in survival. Okay? I was basically in survival. Every time he would text me, I was in survival mode. My nervous system would go into the fight or flight like I was fighting a bear. Okay. And I had to walk away. So I've missed out on many, many years. I missed out on the last several years that my dad was even here in physical form. To this day, I still have missed out on the dinners that my mom and my sisters get together. Um, oh, I totally forgot. I'm sorry, observer. I forgot. I will today. I apologize. I've missed out on things, events, and all kinds of things. I don't know why. I've forgiven him because I know that if we didn't go through what we went through, I would not be where I'm sitting right now, teaching you all from a place of having to implement boundaries. My family had no boundaries. They crossed them left and right. And as I said, I had adrenal burnout. I can go on and on the list of things I went through. I mean, I was at the lowest of the low. And I sit here and say that I had to walk away. And no one could actually understand it as to why I was doing what I was doing. But I knew I had to do it for myself. I knew that's what God was leading me to do because if I didn't, it would have turned out even more tragic. But I knew I had to be the one to do it. And so hopefully, Tyson, that can give you a better understanding of, maybe he's the one doing it. Maybe he knows he has to do this and he had to walk away. I don't know the whole story. I don't know your situation. All I know is you have to trust what happened and what is happening and know that at the right time you will come back together if it's meant to be. If that's what's supposed to happen. And you can't spend life beating yourself up wondering, what if I did this or what if I did that? What if I chose differently? What if I chose to walk this path this way? You'll spend your entire life spinning in this hamster wheel, and all it's going to do is bring you to a lower vibration and frequency, probably inevitably, and you'll end up with some sort of disease in the body. And you'll end up laying on that bed wishing you would have done things differently. There's no regrets, man. Just know that the process is happening. If it wasn't, it wouldn't be. If it was meant to happen that you were chilling and hanging out right now, then that's what would be. But there's a reason that it's not. And when you don't trust, you're not trusting and not having faith in the Creator, in God, in yourself, for that matter. And you're just distancing yourself even more. And then inevitably you may not come back together because of your vibration and frequency. Remember, our vibration and frequency is everything, man. It's everything. And the more that these powers that be keep us in these lower vibrations, in these lower frequencies, man, the more you're going to be separate from God, the more you're going to be distanced from God. Yeah, man. If you get a feeling and God leads you to reach out, then do so. But if you don't, then let it be. And time will tell whether or not it's going to happen or not. But I want to say, and I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving you my own perspective, my own opinion of what I've gone through. and how I'm telling you from a place of like, this is how I know that nothing's a mistake, you know? I don't want to be sitting here telling you something and then something happens and then you're like, well, why did I listen? Why did I listen to him? Because if I didn't, you know what I mean? Because like you could try to force something, but that can force the distance in it as well. How do I define God? Good question. God is everything, man. God is us. God is in us. That's why I kind of don't understand why people actually get offended when you say we are all God, because like our bodies, our souls are from God. So what would that make us? God as well. The car is God. This glass water bottle is God. Everything is God, man. Everything here is of God. We're aspects of God. God is in everything, you know, and I don't understand why people get offended by that. Um, I don't think they actually understand what people are trying to um, actually say when they say it. They think you're just saying, "Well, you're God. You're actually God, and there's no other God." That's what I think they think you're saying, because they're not open and receptive to anything and all possibilities, right? So I think that they're thinking you're actually just saying, "Well, I'm saying, observer, you're God." So that would mean that you're the only God. You're the creator. But when I say every single thing here is God, including us, including our souls, because we came from God and we'll go back to God, right? So that is when you're ready to. That is when you're done reincarnating here on earth, or in other places. That is when you go through the different levels and dimensions to get to the final one where you actually do go back to God. Your soul goes back. I don't know if I understand that fully, that question. I don't want to answer that in the wrong way. So I don't know if I fully understand your question. I don't agree with worshiping God. I don't agree with worshiping something outside of you. It's like people have done with Jesus, and idolize different statues and different things outside of themselves, right? So I don't think that you like, I don't like using the word worship either, because I don't worship anything. I pray to God. I speak to God. I have a relationship with God, but I don't worship God. I think that gives your power away. I believe strongly that you're giving your power away by doing so. Because God is not outside of us. God is within us. God is all around us. God is in everything. So when I say I'm going straight to God, God's everywhere. So you're not really necessarily giving your power away. You are God. I am God. We are all God. Everything here and the universe is God, is of God. It was all birthed from God. So what would that make it? That would make this car that I'm sitting in God, right? That would make you and me God. But then, like I said, people take it in the wrong context. I've had people say, you're not God. Well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's just, you have to understand it on a much deeper level than just like, it sounds like you're saying you are God and I'm not God. And then people go into this separation and divide mentality, which is the ego, you know, trying to make sense of what you're saying, you know, so to speak. How can you not? I mean, well, because essentially, see, yeah, this gets really, really deep, man. I don't know if I'm ready to like go into this conversation right now, because I've been on here for over an hour already. I think what I may do is screenshot this and we'll go into this tomorrow. in the beginning, and I'll start like actually talking about it. This gets really deep. See, like our breath that we're breathing is God. Okay? And what do you think most people do? They hold their breath, so they're preventing God from breathing God through them, right? God's in the rivers, God's in the trees, God's in the sky and the sun and everything all around us. So why does it have to be looked at that way? If you are God, it's like speaking to your body. Your body listens, your cells listen. It's the same kind of thing. Like I speak out loud. I go, God, how are you today, God? Whether God's in me, God's around me, God hears me everywhere because God's in everything. So the ego and the soul are separate. So inevitably you're praying to your soul, your over soul, right? Along with God, and you're asking for guidance and help. So inevitably that is separate from your ego, which is trying to identify with everything. So then inevitably you're being helped in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, that too. Exactly, Tyson. Exactly. Yeah, see, I mean, all of you are kind of like, you know, I got you, but I hope I somewhat answered it. I hope I somewhat answered it, and if I didn't, I will go deeper into it. Um, so it's like I speak to my higher self all the time, and your higher self is the soul, and the soul is of God, is an aspect of God. The soul came from God and will go back to God, right? So what does that make the soul? That makes the soul an aspect of God, a part of God. That makes the soul, and it's hard to, I say it like that because it's like people need like a level. They need to hear levels before you just say, yeah, I'm God. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you're inevitably, there's still an aspect of God like that is doing the things that God is doing. We're just a little fragment of it. So when you're praying, that big aspect of God, which isn't everything, is actually the one that's doing the things that you're asking for. Because the soul that we have in the body does not have the full access to everything like the creator does, because we're just this little fragment, and we're in this experience in this physical body, choosing to forget that we are God, of God, because of the veil. And because that's what we agreed to do when we decided to come into this human form. Forget. And now we're remembering, now we're leading each other home. So I hope that helps. I hope that somewhat answered it. Yes, there is. Well, there is a point, observer. You know what the point is? That word is extremely high vibrational. And they don't want you to use that word because it's high vibrational. It's a high frequency word. Okay? So there's a reason behind not wanting you to use the word God, and why they've made these negative connotations around the word God and made it so religionized. I just made up a word, religionized. They've made this negative connotation around the word because the word is high frequency. It's a high vibrational word. And yes, there is dimensions. Right now we're in the third dimension. We're moving into the fourth, fifth, and sixth. There's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 dimensions, and there's probably even more than that. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, artist. There's many, many dimensions, man. The ninth dimension is where you create worlds. So when you get to the ninth dimension, which you will at some point, we all will, if you haven't already at some point, and you'll be creating planets. You'll be creating universes. Well, because you chose to. You chose to have this experience because this is the one and only place that you get to feel in the way you get to feel. You get to touch in the way you get to touch. You get to have a freaking human experience like this, that there is no other earth and planet like this. And so this is why you chose this. And you chose it also to disrupt and dismantle it. Because, well, I spoke about this before, that there was never a third dimension, okay? Until Atlantis fell from the fifth to the third, okay? And then the third was created. Now, majority of us light workers and starseeds and chosen ones came here to disrupt and dismantle it, to then move up with the earth, because the earth is anchoring in the fifth dimension, okay? So that means humanity has to move up in our frequency, our vibration, and our level of consciousness, okay? So in order to align with Mother Gaia. So as humanity moves up from the fourth and fifth, which is what a lot of us came here to do, to be change makers, to force this awakening to continue to move forward. That's what you're here for, Tyson. That's your purpose. You wouldn't be asking these questions. You wouldn't be on this live. Your purpose is just like all of our purposes. We came here to disrupt and dismantle, right? We came here to lead the lost. That's why you're going through what you're going through with your son. That's why you're going to help a lot of people that lost their kids, lost their family members. You lost your father, just like I did. We're gonna be, when people are, because very soon people are going to be waking up and freaking out, and you already have gone through it. So a big purpose of yours is going to be leading people home, consoling them, telling them it's going to be okay. Okay? This is what a lot of our jobs are going to be, because majority of the planet is still asleep and is waking up, and will be woken up abruptly, and will be lost and confused, just like a lot of us have already been through. So we're here to teach. We're here to lead them, to remember who they are. We're here to take them and direct them back to God, back to Source, back to Creator, back to trusting, back to having faith. That's your purpose, Tyson. That's my purpose. And so a lot of us had to go through really difficult, hard things that our soul chose, so that we can inevitably lead the way. And so as more and more people wake up, they're going to be needing help. They're going to be needing guidance and assistance. You got me? So that's why a lot of us have gone through these things before everybody else, in preparation for what's coming. as we enter the new earth, the golden age, the age of love, the Aquarian age. You're going to be standing at the entrance to the new earth, Tyson, collecting tickets, helping people, consoling them, telling them it's going to be okay. You wouldn't have found my channel and Luna's channel. You wouldn't have found me. You wouldn't be on this frequency and vibration if this wasn't part of your mission and purpose here. You wouldn't even know I even existed. Or Luna. Again, keep that faith alive, baby. Keep that faith alive, man. It's coming. It's all unfolding perfectly, man. And don't ever forget that. Where do we go from here? Well, we're only going up, man. Our consciousness is expanding. We're expanding. The planet's waking up. We're going to start creating new things from a place of love. There's going to be community everywhere. We're going to be eating healthy foods. We're going to be high vibrational. Not to say there's not going to be problems, of course, but it's not going to be to the extent that it was. And we all went through this because when we get to the point where we get to the ninth dimension, we start creating worlds. We're not going to create a world like this because of the fact that we've experienced it. Tyson, because other dimensions are where you are a non-physical being, the third dimension's our dimension is physical. Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Don't forget that there are a few people who have already woken up when they were little. I did. I did. I woke up at 7 years old, man. I've been awake since I was 7, you know? And you think it's been easy? You think it's been easy to, like, be the black sheep, to walk away from everything, to, like, basically fight everything that everyone else is doing? You know, like everyone's going to McDonald's. I'm just giving examples. You know what I mean? Everybody's doing this or doing that. And then you're the one that chooses the complete opposite. You know, everyone's watching the Super Bowl and going to the Super Bowl and blah, blah, blah. And, you know what I mean? But yet you choose the other way because you know that is how we spark change. And change starts within you. So you have to make the changes. You have to decide to go down the path less traveled. You have to create the new pathways. And then humanity will follow. And that's what I've been doing my entire life. That's what my dad did. That's what my dad did when he passed me the torch. That's all he ever did was go down the path less traveled. That's all he ever did was create new pathways. And he was not liked. Neither was I. Neither have I ever been. Hence, what I spoke about earlier in the beginning of the live with my family. Right? I'm the only one that chooses the other way, a different route, a different pathway. And they're all just gathering together. You don't think I would love to do that? You don't think I would love to, like, forget everything I know and just play in the matrix so that I can, you know, I love them. I care about each and every one of them. But I know what I have to do. I know that it's important for the future of humanity. I know that I play a big role. I know that I'm supposed to reach people globally. And I know that I'm supposed to do these things so that we can create something new. So that the end of suffering is the end. And it's like, you think I would not rather eat all this junk food and stuff and blah, blah, blah. And you think I want to fast if I wasn't guided to do so? You know what I mean? We came here to enjoy and have an experience, you know what I'm saying? But then I'm choosing these different ways. And then I wonder, okay, well, how are you going on trips and doing this and having, you know what I mean? But my soul chose it because I know it's coming. And I know that's going to be beyond any of our wildest dreams. I made sushi for the first time yesterday. People say it's difficult to make, but I did it perfectly and it tasted good. Now I think I was an Asian person in one of my many past lives. You probably were, man. You probably were. Um, do you look Asian? You don't need to, man. Past life is a past life. Again, it is. We are multidimensionally. We are having, you know, past, present, and future all at the same time. So yeah, you guys are funny, man. Anyway, I've got to roll out, y'all, man. This was a lot of fun as always, man. And just stay positive, man. Keep your head up, y'all, man. The beautiful times are coming because we're all creating it, man. This is what we came here for. We came here to be a part of this massive evolutionary shift in human consciousness. And you chose to be here just as I did. We all did. We're freedom fighters, baby. And we all got this. I also feel a connection to Asian culture. Yeah, the most likely, I feel that you probably did, you know? And those are just signs showing you that you are, and you have that. It's probably in your ancestral line, But just know that, man, beautiful things are coming, y'all. Keep your heads up, stay positive, man. And if you don't, that's okay too, All feelings are welcome. I love y'all, man. And, don't forget about myself and Luna's mini healing on Wednesdays. And Tyson, you may want to come and do a session with us, a mini session for you and your son. We'll be doing crystalline soul healing and light language. When we do those things, man, the crystalline soul healing, that can heal anything that needs to be healed between you to bring you guys together, possibly. Of course, there's no guarantees, but I've seen things like that happen. So I'm just saying. 1:00 Eastern time, Wednesdays. You can check out I have 3 of them set up on the channel. Wednesday, 1:00 on YouTube. Make sure that you put it in the chat what you want to do, and there's a small donation that we obviously do, but you can also do sessions with us, or you can join our membership platform where we do them there too, which is way cheaper than even the mini session for the monthly thing, which we include it every single month. We do crystalline soul healing, which is again, I can't guarantee anything, but I can tell you this. I had multiple people that I did sessions on when I was getting trained by Jamie Price that hadn't seen family members for years. And then after doing a session, where they were reunited. So I'm not saying that would happen. And I don't want to give you expectations, but it can happen. And I've seen it happen. So we offer those on our website, and we also have a school membership, which I mentioned many times before, where we do monthly crystalline soul healing topics for the group, which is way cheaper than any of the things we offer when you join the membership platform. So you can check it all out on our website at darenandluna.com. But here on YouTube, every single Wednesday, we do mini healings with me and Luna at 1 p.m. Eastern time. There's 3 of them scheduled on the YouTube. So go and type in the chat that you want to receive and put your intention for it, and then read the description below. I got you. Well, you know what? Then just come and you can take it in with everybody else, And we did one last Wednesday as well, and the Wednesday before that you can go and listen to the replay over and over again, and you will receive. It doesn't necessarily have to be you. We have tons of them on the channel too, that we've done activations for. Just start going through our library and go back, and this stuff can really help you, man. But you got to make an effort. God's not going to just hand it to you, man. You want it, you're going to make it happen. You're going to find the money you need to do what you need to do, and know that God is guiding you and leading you, man. When is your next normal live stream? What do you mean normal? The mini healings? That's Wednesdays. I'm not really sure with who, with me and Luna or myself. I've been going live every day, so I mean, I'll be here tomorrow most likely. I don't know what time. It's when I'm done doing the things I do in the morning, like my practices and things like that. But here's the thing too. I want to tell you something, Tyson. Another thing, to pay attention to your words and saying you don't have the money, because you do have the money. Money is just energy. And you just have to ask God and your higher self, like, lead me to this. I would really like to do a session with them, and it will be provided for you some way, somehow. But when you do that, you're putting a block in the way, and you're in a limiting belief that you don't have it when we all have it. Yeah, tomorrow. I'll be on tomorrow, probably in the morning. Probably around the time that I came on today, which was like 9 or 10 or something like that. Maybe even earlier, maybe 8 Eastern time. I'm not quite sure yet. You've got to change that belief and that mentality of you don't have it, because you do. And you're always taken care of and always provided for. We all are. You've just got to change the limiting beliefs. Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure yet, because I'm not sure what time I'm going to go live yet tomorrow, but I can tell you Wednesday will be 1 p.m. Eastern time with myself and Luna. Other than that, I don't know. Sometime around this time that I'm on right now, which I've been on here for about an hour and 20. I've been on for about an hour and a half. So that means that I got on here at about 9:45 or something Eastern time. But I'm going to get going, y'all, man. Tap that thumbs up, like, subscribe, share, and comment. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. Take care of yourselves and each other. I'll see you in the next live, in the next video, or somewhere around the world. Until then, let's go.